Jobs to avoid is a kind of a important thing to note on because not every job is good and you should not be applying for all the jobs that you see. So we'll be seeing how to avoid certain jobs that you should be actually avoiding. So the first one is if the expectations are unattainable. So you'll see that certain job postings, there will be many expectations from the client, which when you go through it the first time, you know that it is unachievable in the time span given, or the results that he has asked for is too much. Please do not take up such jobs because he is going to give you a bad rating in the end, and it is going to affect your profile. So if you think that you cannot keep up to the expectations of the client, then do not take up that job. Another set of jobs to avoid is the ones with an unprofessional JD. So, if the JD does not look professional at all, then please avoid it because a client who is well organized and up to date will have a proper JD to submit. An unprofessional JD means that the client is also unprofessional and you can expect the same kind of behavior from the client. Do not take up JDs that do not look good. If you do not match most of the requirements, do not apply for that job because you're just wasting your connects, and the client is not going to look at your account if you do not match his required criteria. Then avoid the jobs with low bid range. So the bid range is a feature that you get when you go premium. You can see what is the bid range for the current job. So if you see that the job has a very low bid range, do not go for it because you're not going to earn you're not going to earn enough of what you expect. You'll be getting less than what you expect. Then do not ever take up jobs that have very high number of proposals or which are from very old postings. So we discussed about this earlier. Higher the proposal, the chance of your proposal being seen is very less. So always go for jobs if the number of proposals are less than 20, and do not go for postings which are very old or very down the list of the jobs that are very low in the list of the jobs that are posted. So these are a few kinds of jobs that you have to avoid, and always keep this in mind because otherwise it is going to affect your account badly. So that's all about the jobs to avoid. Now we'll be moving to proposal. We will be discussing about proposal now. So proposal is your first step in contacting the client. That is what you send to the client in the first step. So it should be very good and very catchy, and you should really work on getting a good proposal. So the first thing about a proposal is the goal of a proposal. So you should always see it as a challenge for you and always consider it as a job given, and then you should put on your proposal in a way that you explain to the client what you are looking at and how you are looking at the problem that is given, and what are your experiences in this particular field or domain, and what can you do or how can you help the client. That is the goal of your proposal. So for a successful proposal, there are many things that comes under it. So the first thing is pricing. You should not overprice your proposal or make a bid which is too low. Always go to the mid range because if you bid too low, that means that you're not experienced or you're not good at it. And if you bid too high, you're likely not to you're likely to end up not getting the job assigned to you. So pricing is an important factor. Always be careful about the pricing. Never go too high or go too low. The next thing is time management. So you should not always go like say when you see a project, you'll know how long it will take. So if you're sure that it will get over in 3 weeks, do not tell the client a time span of 3 weeks is required. Go for 1 month. Just keep a buffer time so that you don't fall short because of any circumstances that are there, and you do not fall short in submitting the work on time. So this will affect your account badly. So please keep a buffer time and do the time management properly. Then another thing about proposal time management is you should be able to make at least three proposals a day. Do not go for more than three because then you're again going to go through postings which are old. So at least go with at most three. That is a maximum of three proposals per day. That will do good for you. Then copy pasting a resume into the proposal is a very bad idea because you have to customize a proposal for the client in which you highlight his problem scenario and you give suggestions about that in your profile, in your proposal itself. Do not wait for him to give the job. Show him what you can do for the client. Show the client what you can do for him so that he feels interested in looking at your proposal. So now we'll see the format for a proposal. So a format starts with an opening. An opening should be very creative because you have to catch the client's attention with this opening of your proposal. Then you give a demo. So by demo, what I mean is if your client is looking for a campaign specialist and you know the problem scenario that is there, you just maybe give him a strategy of what you're going to do, like give him the strategy that you have put up for him. For example, if it's a branding campaign that is needed, you can suggest him like what target audience you'll be looking at and what will be your strategy for advertising, what are the channels you might choose. Such details in a short paragraph so that the client sees the work that you can do for him and it can attract him. Because very few people would do this because they don't want to do anything free for the client. You're not doing anything free, you're just giving an outline of what you are going to do, and it can win you a job most of the times. The next thing is about expertise and feedback. You should always highlight your expertise in the domain and also show the feedbacks that you have received from other clients. So if you have all these put in place in the proposal, the client whom you're addressing now doesn't have to go back to your profile and see these. You can put in your expertise and a few of the top feedbacks that you have received from other clients. And finally, you can ask for a call. This again is a step ahead because you're asking the client, can we get on a call even before he has given you the job? So that you can tell that I need to know more about your problem. So can we get on a call? That shows that you're interested in the particular field, and it can give you a heads up because the client will not have seen many people do the same thing. Keep all these points in mind when you do a proposal. Now we'll show you a live demo or an example of a proposal or how a proposal is being set up and sent. Let's move on to the screen. Now we'll be seeing how to set up a proposal. We'll go to the first job that is there in the feed, and then we see that the job description is given there. And below that, there are the details like less than 30 hours a week, 3 to 6 months, and expert level is required. And you can see that all the criteria are matching. So we'll submit a proposal. So the first part shows that it will take 2 connects for you to submit this proposal. In a free account, we saw that there are 60 connects. So we'll lose 2 connects when we hit submit proposal for this particular job posting. When you go down, there is job details, which was given in the previous page. And then comes terms where you add in the bid. That this is where you bid with the client. So your hourly rate is already set up at $4 per hour, but there is a rate given here which is $20.50. So this rate is calculated by Upwork. You can see the details when you hover over the question mark. It is calculated by Upwork by taking into consideration your skills and expertise as well as what the client is willing to pay. So since they have given $20.50, I'm going to bid for $18. So when I bid for $18, you'll see that 20% of 18, which is $3.6, is deducted as Upwork fee, and you'll be getting $14.40. That is what you'll be getting for 1 hour after deduction of the fee. Now there are additional details that include a cover letter and an attachment. So cover letter can be a entire proposal structure that cover letter is the entire structure that we discussed about for the proposal that has an opening and giving a demo and all. We'll be covering that after this part of the video. We'll be covering it in detail. And the attachment is in attachments you can actually add, if you have some attachments to be shown to the client, you can add the attachment and then click submit proposal and it gets submitted. So let's see how a cover letter should be structured. We'll move on to that. You can consider this as a very good example for a awesome proposal. You see that it starts with congratulating the client for starting the new company and launching his app. So it has caught the client's eye when he sees that someone is taking time to appreciate what he has done. It'll obviously be a happy thing for the client and he'll be interested in reading the remaining of your proposal. After this, the user has shown what he can do for the client. So he's highlighting a mistake that the client has done here and he's suggesting what is to be done about that and how he can help this particular client in getting successful. That is where you show a demo of what you can do. After this, if you look at it, you can see that he has given an example of a scenario where he has worked on a similar project before this and how he was successful. So he's highlighting his expertise in this particular field, or he's showing that he's good at this particular field. In the end, he's asking the client to tell him more about the kind of job that he has to do and more about the situation that he has to face. So that here is where he's asking the client for a call, like we discussed. He's asking him to chat about it more. So basically, he's inviting the client to give him more information about the project. So hereby, you're asking the client to get in more details even before you started doing the job, and this can make the client think that you're really interested in this particular job, and it can help you in getting the job as well. This is how your proposal should be structured in order to win a job posting.